Hi Pisces, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your mid-June 2025 love reading. Thanks to those of you who have liked, viewed, shared, and subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you new to the channel, as far as up me and from us, it's what I call the bridging the gap spread. And the way it works is a look at the past, present, future energies between you and your main love interest. We'll also pull some oracle cards to help with the bridging the gap dynamic. As far as the decks being used, on the left side we have the Lover's Path Tarot, on the right side we have the Romantic Tarot. And also keep in mind it's a general reading, so while I'm going to be referring to the cards on the left as your energy and the cards on the right as the other person's, if you feel that's the way around in your situation, then definitely trust that. Alright, so with all that out of the way, we'll get started. Past energy on your side, we have the Prince of Coins. So this is the equivalent of the Knight of Pentacles in traditional tarot, and this is actually Virgo energy, which is your house of relationships. So seeing this says to me that in the past you actually saw the potential for this to become a committed relationship between you and the other person. And more than likely you did communicate that in some way. Past energy on their side, we have the Ace of Swords. So if we look at the artwork here, it looks like they're cutting through that rose, right? So could just be saying that maybe the response you got from this person might have seemed a little bit cold and cutting at the time. I don't necessarily feel like they meant it that way, but it could just be one of those things. So for example, you guys are a cup energy, but presenting as a pentacle energy, right? Maybe you felt like you were coming across more authentically than you actually were. So there could have been some misunderstanding there, where you were thinking you were expressing emotional feelings toward this person, and they might not have received it that way. So whatever their response was, you might have taken it to heart, but it might not have been meant in the way you thought it was. Present energy on your side, we have the Seven of Cups. So this is Scorpio energy here, and if we look at the artwork, this person has like a bit of a blank stare on their face, and then we see this other figure that looks like they're not physically in a room with this person, right? It almost looks like a faded image. So could just be saying that you might have a lot going on in your lives right now, but you might still find yourself thinking about this person quite a bit. So it could just be one of those things where it's a bit of a distraction for you at this time. All right, present energy on their side, we have the Five of Wands. So if we look at the artwork here, we see the person holding those flowers behind their back, and it looks like they're, just looking at all of these women up there, right? So what I get from this card, typically the energy from it, is that this is someone who deep down they would like to be in a one-to-one committed relationship, right? And that would be what those flowers behind their back represents, but it's not obvious to those people, right? So it could just be one of those things where they might think that they are giving off this impression that they are someone who would be reliable in a stable, committed relationship. But I feel like they're their own worst enemy in that regard. They get in their own way because in their mind, oh, this is obvious that this is my intention, right? But to those four people, they don't see that, right? They just see someone who looks like they're taking in this attention from all those people. So that could have been part of why you might have found their communication to be a bit cold and cutting as well, because it could just be one of those things where they might get in their own way, where what they actually want, which again would be like a committed partnership, might not be how they come across with their communication. All right, future energy on your side, we have the Eight of Staves. So Sagittarius energy here. So this could be pointing to that Sagittarius full moon that we're about to have. But either way, this represents a lot of communication coming through. So you guys look like you will be communicating with this person a bit more in the future. All right, and future energy on their side, we have the Queen of Cups. So this is Cancerian energy here. So this could just be saying that as we approach Cancer season, which is coming up soon, you might find that they're finally a bit more open emotionally, so you can get more of a read on them, right? We see they pull that mask away from their face. So yeah, it could just be saying that they might be more authentic with their communication in the future, and that'll make it clear for you. So, the only question here at this point with the future energy is which happens first. What I mean by that is, for some of you, this could just be saying that you might open those lines of communication with them in the future, and in doing so, they'll be more open with you. Or for others, you could just be saying that they might approach things with a more open energy, and that's going to make you feel more comfortable to communicate more. So I could see that going either way. I'd say maybe 60-40, but that's what I see with that. Bottom of the deck on your side, we have tradition. So this is the equivalent of the Hierophant in traditional tarot, which is a Taurus energy. And if we look at the artwork, we see the names Romeo and Juliet. So yeah, it could just be saying that there might have been some obstacles around getting the connection off the ground, but ultimately that is still the goal, to actually move this toward a committed partnership. And bottom of the deck on their side, we have the World. So yeah, so to me this shows that really they would be in it for the long haul as well. It's just one of those things where, like I said, it seems like they just don't necessarily convey that that's what they're actually capable of with how they come across. You know, again, like I said, I feel like they might give off the energy of someone who's more detached and not necessarily looking for anything serious rather, but you know. And then on your end, like I said, it seems like it could be one of those things where you might have felt like you were being more expressive than you were in the past too. So those two things clashing together could have caused the disconnect between the two of you to this point. But we'll see what the oracle cards add to the mix. First, we'll see what we get from the messages of oracle card decks. I'm going to give this a few shuffles. Okay, so take this card here, get this out of the way, and next I'll do the same thing with the Wisdom Oracle deck. So I'll give this a few shuffles now. All right, and I'll take this card here, get this out of the way, and we'll take a look at the messages of card first. All right, we have acceptance. It says everything happens for a reason. So yeah, so I mean, given that we said it clearly looks like there was a disconnect in the past, and in the present there seems to be a bit of a lack of clarity still ongoing, whereas in the future it does look like there's positive momentum and movement. Like I said, the only thing that's lacking in clarity bit is who's going to come forward first, but either way, it could just be saying that maybe this is one of those things where it could have just been a timing issue. You know, you guys had Saturn in your sign not too long ago. Obviously, you had Neptune in your sign for a really long time. So those could have been heavier transits and plenty of other things. And who knows what was going on in their lives, right? Depending on what sign they are. But could just be saying that, you know, now that these energies could be clearing out, now you could be moving more toward romance. And then also the fact we have, you know, Jupiter is going to be in Cancer for the next year, which is your fifth house of romance creativity. So it could just be saying maybe the timing wasn't right in the past, but now it will be as we move forward. All right, and from the Wisdom Oracle, we have Truth Be Told. There's the artwork, and the number is 14. So we'll see what this has to say. All right, the relationship message says people tell you who they are very quickly if you're willing to listen to what they say and pay attention to how they behave. This card calls you to engage in heartfelt, open conversation. It's time to see the truth about what you share with each other and tell the truth about who you are and what you need. No one can do that for you. Remember that your truth is always based in your personality and experience up to now. A higher truth to be found after you communicate honestly and see how doing so has helped you become more attuned to yourself. Don't hold back. Speak your truth and listen. So yeah, so reading that message there definitely seems to align with the Eight of Staves energy that we do see in the future. So yeah, that does make it seem a little more likely. So now maybe I'd say maybe more 70-30 as far as you guys might be the ones more likely to open these lines of communication to get the ball rolling. Well, like I said, it seems like in doing so, once it's cleared up for them, because like I said, it seemed like in the past, the way they communicated was more so them not necessarily understanding that you were expressing yourself in a more romantic sense. So if you're just a little bit more clear with your communication this time around, then that might actually surprise you with their more open emotional side that they have as well, realizing that, oh, okay, this is how this person's communicating toward me, and then they'll address it accordingly. Um, so yeah, definitely seems like there's some promise for you guys for this to move in a positive direction. So hope it resonated with you guys. We'll wrap up there, and I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.